Okay, let's be real. The first day of school is the worst part of the semester. And you have to find parking, and then once you get in your class, you're all settled. It's like, okay, I'm registered, I don't have to worry about anything. And then it's the record, all right, so let's get to know each other. Let's do some icebreakers. All right, and then you're sitting there in your seat like, well, I know my name, I know my major, kind of. Now I have to think of something interesting about myself. Is everyone else going to think that watching the entire series in a week is as interesting as I think it is? It is, don't get me wrong. But if you study abroad for a semester, you will never have to think of another interesting fact again. I know there are a lot of hesitation to study abroad, and I had them as well. But last semester, I studied abroad in Rome, and it was the best decision that I have ever made. Whether you have considered studying abroad before or have never really gave it much thought, study abroad is something that is possible for anyone. Today, I want to persuade you to take advantage of the opportunities to travel abroad here at community college. To do that, I'm going to talk about 3 of the most common hesitations people have about study abroad: the expense of the trip itself, the fear of being in a completely different environment than what you're used to, and whether it will set you back in your progress that you've been making here at college. Whenever I tell someone that they should look into study abroad, the first thing they tell me is, "You're crazy, there's no way I can afford that." And I get it, study abroad is expensive. But there are a lot of solutions now that make it manageable. The biggest one for me is scholarships. Scholarships are so readily available for everyone. It's literally organizations giving you free money for just filling out a form or writing an essay. A lot of the hesitations to scholarships is the fact that, a lot of people feel like they're not eligible for them. But because that you are enrolled here at Fullerton, you're already eligible for 2. Cypress and Fullerton both have scholarships for study abroad specifically, and they're willing to give you money just to go study abroad, just so that you have the opportunity to take this experience. And also another really big one is the Benjamin A. Gilman scholarship. And so that one, they give away $5,000 to students to go study abroad. And on their website, they cite that the Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship Program offers grants for U.S. citizens, undergraduate students of limited financial means to pursue academic studies or credit-bearing, career-oriented internship abroad. So in other words, we're giving you free money if you write us an essay to go study abroad, and up to $5,000. Now that one kind of feels like, oh, it's prestigious, I don't have the grades, I don't have the sob story to go with it. My friend that actually went with me, who is now a study abroad ambassador and is getting paid to talk about it, got that $5,000 grant, and she also got a couple other scholarships and went to study abroad for free. She actually had extra money to spend there, and she didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. So it is possible, and this person is a friend of mine. I went with her, and now she works here. All of you can go talk to her if you want to. But just in case you can't, I actually got her to give me a quote, and she says, Essence, the study abroad ambassador, "There are plenty of scholarships out there. You just have to look for them. If a scholarship takes a lot of work, do it because it will be worth it in the end." Coming from someone who went and studied 3 months in Rome without paying any money out of pocket. Another one is FastWeb scholarships. All you have to do is make your profile, and it sends you links to every scholarship that you're eligible for. I, the palest person you have seen today, actually got a scholarship for being a proud Mexican, and I just had to write an essay about my heritage and where I come from and what it means to me, and I got $300 worth of money to go study abroad. So it's definitely doable. Just fill out a little bit, make an essay, and you get free money to go study abroad. So, as intimidating as scholarships are, there are so many out there that it's worth it to just do a little research and get free money. Now that we know we can afford study abroad, next is the fear of the unknown. Trust me, it sets in. I had the money, I filled out everything, and then I was sitting there like, I'm going to Rome, this is gonna be awesome. Now I just realized that I don't know any of it, I don't know any Italian, and I don't know where I'm going. How in the world am I gonna pull this off? Well, let me tell you a little story about my first day in Rome. We had to meet with our group the first day and go on this large, kind of like to get to know your surroundings tour. It was phenomenal, but the first thing you do after jet lag is go get a coffee. So me and my roommate, who is now my best friend, went to our local little coffee shop, and here a latte is what everyone knows. It's espresso with steamed milk in it. There, latte is just milk. So if you walk up and you're like, oh, can I have one latte? They'll just give you cups of milk. So we get up there and we get 2 cups of milk and look at each other and just kind of go, well, we'll figure it out next time, and just keep going, because it was enough to try to talk to someone in a complete different language, let alone try to tell him that this isn't what we wanted. So we kept going, went on to our day, and we go through this fabulous tour of everything that's around us, and we end at the Spanish Steps. Iconic, amazing, the most beautiful place. But then our tour guide's like, all right, well, I hope you found everything to your pleasing, have a great day, and leaves. And now I'm at the Spanish Steps, and I have no idea how to get home. Me and my roommate look at each other and realize our entire class is gone too, and we have no idea where they went. So now we have to try to get back to our apartment, which we've only been to once, and we've only been to the Spanish Steps once, and try to find our way there. It took us 3 hours to get home. And we went to every shop there and asked everyone how to get there, and no one could help us. We finally figured it out. But at the end of the day, we were laying there like, this was the most exhausting day of my life. How are we going to get through this semester? By the end, the guy at the coffee shop knew us by name. He knew our exact order, and it only took us 15 minutes to walk to the Spanish Steps on our last week. And on our last day there, we actually all got up and watched the sunrise before class at the Spanish Steps. So at the end of the day, it's worth it. Yeah, the first month is scary. Yeah, the first month, it's a lot going on. You have to adjust to it. But it's so worth it at the end. The most rewarding experience I had was the last 2 weeks there. I was getting off my bus and I was walking to my apartment, and someone came up to me, these 2 tourists, and speaking complete Italian, and basically asked me how to get to the nearest metro. And I, knowing very little Italian, knew exactly what they were talking about, and in English was like, I don't know a lot of Italian, but I know how to get there, so I'll tell you how to get there. And their faces, when I was speaking complete English and told them how to get to the metro, was phenomenal. I actually guided them there. I found out they lived in Florence, and this was their first time in Rome, so they had no idea where they were going. And the American told them how to get to exactly where they were going. It was the best thing. And sure, it was scary. But I learned by the end that I probably knew Rome just as well as I knew my own backyard here. You don't know anything until you're walking it and looking at it and absorbing everything around you. So it really does just take the time, and it's so worth it. So I'm sure now everyone is thinking, all right, I'm sold. Let's go study abroad. But how about when I come back? Am I going to be set back? And the answer is no. Here, if you study through Fullerton, they actually give you transferable classes, and you just get to choose which ones you want to take depending on what they're offering. So it won't set you back in your classes, and also it looks phenomenal on your resume. So according to a survey done by IES, 8 out of 10 students who had interned abroad said that they had acquired skill sets that influenced their future career paths, such as working for a multinational organization, getting a job overseas, or volunteering internationally. Honestly, put it on your resume and milk it. I know Italian, I've been abroad, I adjust well, anything they can throw at you, you've done it. So you milk it in your interview, and it will help you out, it really will. So in conclusion, there are a lot of hesitations when considering to study abroad, and they are all completely valid. But that's what they are, hesitations. Take a moment, take a deep breath, and just go through with it, because really it's worth it in the end. So, if you found everything I said to just have absolutely no effect on you, I leave you with one last thought. Next semester, when you're sitting there and everyone's sweating, hoping no one else has beat their record of watching an entire series in 1 week, you'll know that not only have you beat their record, but you did it in a different country. Thank you. By the way, they're going to London next semester. You don't need to learn any language.
Ian, what did you think?
I thought you did well in the beginning, the attention getting. You're very enthusiastic and animated throughout your speech, so which makes us want to listen to what you have to say. I also like how it's very specific because it's about our school, like going studying abroad. You're talking about like how specific what scholarships we can do, and I thought that's really good because we can all be able to do that. And you're also credible because you went through the experience. But you had very interesting stories. Some of it was kind of long, but I'm not sure if they all had to be there or not. But it did leave us more interested. You had good transitions. You cited one of your friends. I'm not sure if that's a good citation, but you did cite one of them. But you also gave another citation of overall, you did really good. You ended it well. You got a preview, good intro, good body, and good conclusion.
All right. I thought, you know what? I thought your purpose statement was excellent. The preview was really solid. The visualization that you had as the attention device, it came into focus once we knew what your purpose was. As it was a little disconcerting to me, but once you got to the topic, I thought it was okay. Maybe that's a little bit of a hesitation on my part, but other than that, I thought the opening was great. The body of the speech is very well organized. It's easy to follow. You have clear transitions while you're speaking. They're very smooth too, so it makes it all flow very nicely, and I like that. The content issues, for the most part, you're using a lot of personal experience, which I think is good because that enhances your credibility. Your firsthand experience is something that people will be able to relate to. Ian was a little bit hesitant about your quoting your friend, but your friend is the ambassador for the travel abroad program here, and they've had those kinds of experiences also. So I thought that was pretty reasonable in the context that we're talking about. I do think you could probably use a little bit additional information on a couple of those points from other places where they've done those study abroad kinds of things. I'm sure there's been research on the impact that it has on people's ability to succeed or success, and there are probably plenty of well-known successful people who have done just that and would testify to the same kind of thing also. So I just think you need to broaden your appeal a little bit. Not that the argument that you had and the information that you had was weak. I just think it could be stronger if you had a little bit more of those kinds of things, something that's a little bit more generalizable. The story that you tell about being on the Spanish Steps and not knowing where you were going to get back to your apartment, I think that's exactly the kind of thing that people are a little bit intimidated by. Geez, I'm going to be someplace, I'm going to be on the other side of the world, I'm not going to know anybody, and I'm going to have to try and figure that out, and that's tough. And you kind of feed that fear a little bit by telling that story. But on the other hand, you say, we figured it out. We got this taken care of. It wasn't as problematic. Did it take us a while? Yes, it did take us a while. But you know what? I like the way when you got at the end of the story and you say, on the last day we were there, we walked the Spanish Steps in 15 minutes. The guy at the coffee place knew our order the second we walked in. He knew us by name. That kind of thing. I think that's the kind of stuff that really works well at selling the experience the way you were doing so. So I thought you did a very nice job on that. And the delivery is excellent. I mean, you've got lots of enthusiasm when you're speaking. You're talking to us for the most part. You're not dependent on notes at all. You come across as an enthusiastic advocate of the subject that you're talking about. And that's the kind of thing that audiences relate to really well. They want to know that somebody that's talking to them cares about what they're talking about, really believes in that sort of thing, and wants them to feel the same way about it. And I thought that you convey that very effectively. All right, thank you.